Hey y'all, good afternoon. It is early today, earlier than normal. I usually do this on Tuesdays at 8:30, but today we moved the time up because we've got some other things that we've got to do today. And I'm super excited. I see that Angela has already joined. Hey girl. Hey Allie. I'm going to wait for a few more people to get on here and I want to introduce myself. I am Terry Long. Some of you may know me as T-Bomb from Spotlight Over the City on Thursdays. I'm still her, but on Tuesdays, it's Trauma to Triumph. And we're going to be changing the lives in a positive direction of millions of women because we are going to heal them through our stories. We share our stories of trauma and how we turn trauma into triumph. And lots of women have already started being benefited by these episodes. So if you know someone or if you yourself have gone through trauma and you're ready to tell your story about how you turned your trauma into triumph, I want you to join the project too. So the way you can join is on my website, www.trauma, the number two, triumphdoc.com, www.trauma, the number two, triumphdoc.com. You can also email me, info at trauma, the number two, triumphdoc.com. Info at trauma to triumph doc.com is the email address. So send your stories in and let's get you scheduled so you can go live with me on a Trauma to Triumph Tuesday. All right, so let me bring Angela in. Hi, Natalia. I should remember how to do this, right? Okay, you all, you ready? Okay. Angela, I just sent you an invite. Hi, Cass. Hi,
Oh, I gotta turn
everybody.
it down.
Hi,
Okay, there
girl.
you go.
Hey. Hello,
Hey,
beautiful.
son.
How are you?
Great, great, great. A little
I'm gonna
nervous.
turn my volume up so I can hear. Oh. What? Oh, that's what I did. I took a picture. Hang on, y'all. I'm sorry, but you see the palm of my hand. I gotta turn my volume up. Okay. Can you hear me okay, Angela?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. You look amazing.
Thank you. So do you.
Yay. So let's talk. Let's chat. You all, welcome to Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. Let's welcome Angela Clemons to our show today. And I've lost count of how many episodes this is already. That means it's going so well. We have had enough episodes now where my old brain doesn't even remember. I think this is episode 5. I'm almost sure it's episode 5, but we're right around there. And I'm happy that you are joining the T2T project, Angela.
Yes, yes, yes.
Hi, Kim. All right, well, let's get right into it. You know, it's an early afternoon on a Tuesday, and everyone who's on here, if you don't know, we do this because we want to share our stories of trauma and how we turn that trauma into triumph. And Angela is going to share her story today. I'd first like to start out by saying, you know, it's old cliche that says experience is the best teacher. Well, I have grown to learn that wisdom is the best teacher. And us as women who've gone through trauma and we've made it to the other side and are triumphant, we have wisdom that we can share with other women and young girls who may not be brave enough to do what we're doing. So we're trying to change the trajectory of these women who are going through some of the same things that a lot of us have gone through. And maybe our stories can help them deal with it, manage it, and come out triumphant like the rest of us have. So, Angela, let's talk about where you are today because a lot of times with these episodes, we get so dived into the trauma and then we're left with such a short time to talk about where you are today. So let's start by just introducing yourself and tell everyone how amazing you are and how many books you've done.
I am author Angela Joy Clemons, aka Angela Elder Creator. I have over 25 books on Amazon that I published, edited, did the covers, everything. And I have 2 magazines, Mother Speak magazine, that is all about spirituality. You want to learn about spirituality, astrology, I will be teaching that hopefully on TikTok soon.
Okay.
And I have Jack magazine that is all about promotion. of entrepreneurs, people, artists, authors, anybody that's chasing their dream and making it happen. I promote.
I love.
So that's where I'm at today.
So Angela, can you
Um,
put the volume up on your phone just a little bit for me, please?
is that better?
It is better for me. Um, so I'm super proud of where you are and the journey that you took. I'm super proud of you. That's what a Black woman who have put out all of those books that you've done. Not, the magazines, everything that you've done. I'm proud of your journey. But let's talk about how you got there. I know your story, which is why you're here today. But I want you to tell people about when trauma first started for you as a young girl.
Okay. That was age 10. The first incident, this is not the incident that changed my life, but the first incident was like, first of all, my parents never fought or cussed or argued or anything in front of me. So I never seen that from them. But one night, me and my mother was laying in the bed, we were asleep. And my father came home and he just woke her up out her sleep, smacking her. And she had a knife under her pillow, and she took the knife from under her pillow and she stabbed him in the back. He fell on the floor. I'm a little kid. I jumped down and I grabbed the knife out his back. And he go out the door. So then the next thing I remember, we at the back door, and my uncle got a 2x4 beating my mother.
Mm,
Hold up.
mm. And so for those,
So I jumped in front of her
real quick,
and told him to stop, and he stopped.
I wanted to just pause real quickly so I can let those of you watching know that this is Angela's first time speaking like openly and publicly about what occurred. So it's still very, I'm sure it triggers things with you. And I just wanted people to know how hard this is for you to do this. And I'm super proud that you're being brave. So go ahead and continue. I just wanted to pause just to let people know that you've never done this before.
Never ever. That was just the first, that was an incident that stained my brain. That wasn't the incident that changed my life. That was an incident that stained my brain, and that is still live. This facing my childhood trauma started, I wrote a book. That was my first book that is still unpublished because when I went to edit the book, I started crying, so I left it. So last year, I go to edit the book again, and I'm crying again. So I'm like, okay, you not healed. So I left it again.
Mm-hmm.
So then I pick up The Alchemist. I'm reading The Alchemist for the second time. And this time it just hit different than the first time. So in The Alchemist, he says 4 obstacles to confronting your dreams. The first one is childhood trauma, love for people, places, and things, stuff you don't want to let go that you might need to let go.
Mm-hmm.
Fear and procrastination. Those are his 4. I added a 5th, which is environment, because my saying is to change your life, you got to change your mind, and you can't do that if you in a messed up, toxic environment. So after reading that and looking over the obstacles, because I took a lot of notes in this book, and I took this book real serious this second time around because I learned a lot from it. So I'm like, okay, you 40 something, you shouldn't still be crying over this. But to confront your dreams, these are the things you have to confront. And the first one is childhood trauma. So I wrote the book. So I'm thinking I'm healed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to edit, like I can't even talk. I can't do it.
Mm.
And then to just sit down and talk to somebody about it, I get emotional. And I promised myself I was not going to do that today.
Well, you can, because I do it all the time, Angela. And I want you to know, just like I told you before we got on here, this is just like you and I, 2 girlfriends sitting on my couch having a conversation about what happened with you as a child. And, just the first thing you talked about, seeing your mom stab your dad in his back, and you had to take the knife out of his back. And how old?
Yeah. I can't even remember how old. I might have been
Mm.
a little bit younger than 10.
And so
Yeah.
take us back to, after that occurred, what happened in your household?
So after that, some time passed, and I don't know how much time passed, but I was in the house making up the bed. Like I'm gonna clean their room up when they come home. They can room be nice and clean for them. So I'm making the bed up, and I see my father come up the steps, with this guy named Briscoe, his friend named Briscoe, when they go in the bathroom. So I don't think nothing of it. I'm cleaning the room. So some more time passed. And this the part that stabs me in the heart. He called me. He said, Joy. And I answered, but I did not go see what he wanted because he was in the bathroom. So I just kept on making the bed up. So some more time passed. My mother come up the steps. She like, where your father? I was like in the bathroom with Mr. Briscoe. She kicked the door in, and there he was on the floor. I went to see. I seen it. I just closed my eyes. So next thing you know, the ambulance there. They take him out the bathroom, put him on a gurney. I see his. It was his last breath, but I didn't know as a kid that was his last breath. I'm thinking my father, he gonna be all right, but he wasn't. So that same night, she took us. That's when my life changed.
So
it went from mommy and daddy.
He was in
mommy and daddy in the house, my own room. The whole block was family. Just I had superpowers when my father was alive, and when he died, all of that left with him. So the same night, she took us to her mother's house, and before she took us there, I remember her talking to somebody and telling them that my father said if something ever happened to him, he didn't want her to take us to his mother. Well, that's where she took us. She took me and my sister. I was 10, my sister was 3. She took us there. She dropped us off. She left. So this a house in Letroy Park, little 3-bedroom, already packed. My grandmother in one room, my aunt and her son in another room, my aunt and her 2 kids in the other room, my uncle and my cousin downstairs. Where we going? So my aunt had to make room. It's May, hot, 2 to a bed, fan in the window. It was hell to me at the time. It felt like hell. But when I look back on everything I went through, it wasn't hell. It was some of the best days of my life. It made me strong. It made me a warrior. It made me feel like I can get through anything because I have. And that was the trauma that changed my life. Seeing my father die and being taken away and dropped in Letroy Park with a family I do not know. On top of that, like everybody in the whole family was dark skinned. I'm the only light skinned person in this whole family. Do you hear me? The only light skinned person. So I got ridiculed for that. I was a little red bitch every other day. I hate red motherfuckers. What my aunt say? I'm glad that red motherfucker dead. Her mother should have died with him. Like all that.
Talking about your father? What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And this to a 10-year-old kid. So at the same time, I gotta be responsible for a 3-year-old now. Because my mother gone. She in the streets.
Okay, so time out. Time out real quick. So you were 10, you found your dad on the bathroom floor. So he had died of a drug overdose. Is that what happened?
Yep. Yeah.
In your
Yes.
And you were
So we moved to Letroy Park, and then some years passed. I might have been about 12 or 11. No, I might have been about 15 or 16, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit older, because at this time I was smoking weed. So me and my girlfriend, we in her house, we chilling, we smoking, we rapping. And she said this line in her rap about how her father OD'd off dope with a man named Briscoe. So now I'm crying, she crying. So I'm like, hold up. My father OD'd in the bathroom with a man named Briscoe that drove a motorcycle. So I'm like, he killed my father. So I go home, I'm like telling my mother what happened. How can that be a coincidence that my father OD in the bathroom, he went in there with a man named Briscoe, and in her line, she started telling me about her father ODing with a man named Briscoe that drove a motorcycle. So it was real, like from the time he left until about maybe 20 something, I had a fuck the world attitude. Fuck everybody. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss.
Oh no, it's fine.
But,
candid on here.
Yeah. That was my attitude. I wanted to die. I wanted to be with my father. Like if it was shootouts, I wouldn't run. I'd stand there. When I was in Roosevelt, a few times people pulled out guns. I stood there like, I'm trying to go with my father. Would somebody help me?
Yeah.
But it didn't happen because it wasn't supposed to happen.
Because God had a different plan for your life. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had a different life. Even when you went through what you went through as a 10-year-old, he had a different plan for your life, and he knew that you were going to be okay, even through that. And I know
Yeah.
that now, right?
Yeah, I know that now, and he's still working on me.
So, and
He's still
mom
working on me.
you off in LaDroit Park, and you were a young girl at your, like you say, at your grandmother's house with all of those other people. Um, like, was any of, I'm assuming that a lot of that was probably traumatic for you growing up under the,
Oh, absolutely.
and did you ever reconnect with your mom? Did your mom check on you as a little girl?
Yeah, she came back. She would come back, but she was toxic. I love my mother to death. She just passed this January, and that was hard on me.
Rest in
But
peace.
growing up, the truth is the truth. And everything is more detailed, but it's in the book. Y'all gonna have to wait for the book. I can't give it to y'all right now. But yeah, she would come back, and she would come back, say, I got some school clothes. She would come back and steal all my school clothes right before school start. Steal my Timberlands, steal my pages, steal my jewelry.
Your mother.
Just yeah,
Mm.
that's the childhood I had.
Wow.
So
So who was that person for you that was like someone that
my rock,
made you feel like you had a safe place?
my grandmother,
Okay. Your grand,
my grandmother.
she,
And she was held on Hot Wheels, but I had to learn how to deal with her.
uh-huh.
I had to learn how to deal with her. And once I learned how to deal with her and show her love that nobody else showed, our relationship grew. And she loved me over everybody because I showed her love
How did,
over everybody.
how were you able to have what it took to show your own grandmother love? How?
Because she all I had, her and my sister.
But
And I write. I hmm,
where did you get it from? Who showed you how to love?
I can't remember. I guess my parents. I guess my parents. Because I can't even remember right this minute.
I'm,
But I used to write everything that hurt me, everything my mother did, I write. And that has always been my release was the write.
you're a spiritual woman. Do you believe
Yeah.
that it's possible, Angela, that even as a child trying having to show your grandmother how to love correctly, that God put that inside of you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I believe first of all, we get to choose our parents. We choose everything before we come here. So I chose this. Sometimes you are sent here to teach your parents. I was sent here to teach my grandmother how to love, and I did. I was sent here to teach my mother, period, how to be a woman,
Mm.
how to pay bills, how to be a mother, how to run a house. And I learned that from Granny. So yeah, I learned everything from Granny.
And
Yeah.
you taught
And I took care of my mother
you
from 18.
taught your mother how to love, and then had to end up teaching your mom how to be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I have always put everybody before me since I was 10. I had to be a mother to a 3-year-old. I ain't know what I was doing. I ain't perfect. I haven't been perfect through the years, but I strive to be better than I was yesterday, every day. And today I practice positive thinking. I stay in my little bubble. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I said I wanted to write a book, I wrote it.
Mm.
And now I'm 25 books in. I ain't know what I was doing at first, but we got magic boxes in our hand. The phone, YouTube University, Google College, you can learn anything you want to do. You can learn to do it if you really want to do it.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So how long?
I wanted to write a movie. I did it. I did it. It ain't exactly come out what I wanted it to be, but I did it. I wrote it. I directed. I produced it. I edited. J. Dino filmed it, and I got way more stuff to come.
Girl, you're gonna make me cry because listen, listening to what you went through as a 10-year-old and then the environment that you were put in over there in LaDroit Park, and then having to teach your grandmother how to love, having to teach your mom how to love, having to you had to do all of that as this young person. Like I can't even imagine having that kind of pressure and that kind of burden. And then to hear you've got 25 books and you have gotten a movie that you did all of that stuff yourself. And like you said, it ain't what,
No experience.
but it's a way more than what I haven't been able to do that. It's way more than what a lot of people have been able to do. And a lot of people haven't even gone through the things that you have gone through. You listen, that's strength. When I talk about women with strength and courage, your story exemplifies that times 10, honey. Um, um, I get so emotional and I get off track, but I want to go back to um, where's the point in time, Angela, where you felt the shift in your life, the transition from, you know what, all of this trauma is got to be left behind me and I'm going to start writing. Like, about what age were you and what was happening in your life when the transition occurred and you started to really climb as a woman and as a writer?
That didn't start until maybe 30. I have always wrote. I was a rapper before any of this. I was a rapper and a poet, and I did security, and I always kept paper. Whatever I was going through, I would write it in a rap, in a song, in a poem, something. So that was my release. But I think around 30, I started saying, I'm gonna write a book. Like, I'm a really do it. And I had seen, damn, what is her name? Anne Frank. That's what inspired me to sit down at my computer and do the journal, because this my first book that's still not out. Initially, it was just a journal for my kids for when I graduate, for them to read and see what I went through. But then I seen the lady that made the Harry Potter. She was doing an interview and she was saying how she was low income, well fed, and this and that, and she took those stories and she turned it, she flipped it, she changed her life. And I'm like, well, if she can do it, I can do it too. But what you gonna write about? So that's where I started figuring it out. And so the first thing was Heart of a Poet. And that's my first book, but that wasn't enough. So I just kept going and I still got more. And I'm going to keep going because I'm still not where I want to be, but I'm where I need to be. I'm where I'm supposed to be. We are where we are because of our past decisions, and we will be in a future where we are based on our now decisions. So I really take the time to try to decide the right stuff now, because I want to change my life, and that starts with changing your mind. And that it don't happen overnight. Like, this is a process. I've been in this changing my mind process for 5 years now, since I won Mitch Cradle short story contest and got my foot in the door and just been riding that wave and refused to let the wave go. You're gonna know who I am.
Yes. And you know, and you spoke on this, you mentioned this, you know that there's a purpose for the pain that you went through, right? And now your purpose come to life. And I know that must really feel great on the inside. I know that it's painful sometimes when you think about the things you went through. And when you know, when you wrote your story to me, and it was heart-wrenching for me just reading it. But as I got to the end, I started doing like this, like, yes, yes, there's a purpose for all of the stuff that you went through. And look at the foundation of strength that it built inside of you.
Yes, it did. I just thank you for reaching out to me and encouraging me to come in and share, because when you first posted, I was like, oh yeah, I might wanna go on there. But the devil was like, girl, don't nobody want to hear your story. Your story ain't that deep. It's people that been through worse stuff than you. And I had to tell the devil, like, step back. Yeah, they've been through what they've been through, but I've been through what I've been through, and everything affects everybody differently.
That's
And this
right.
is how it affected me.
That's right.
And it did affect me, and it does matter. So I had to tell the devil to get on somewhere, because he be like, girl, just
He's
trying to ride me sometimes.
ain't gonna ever leave, because listen, you had God inside of you and with you from when you were a little girl. And you know the devil, the enemy, don't like that. He doesn't want that. He tried to take
Oh
you out.
yeah.
He tried to take you out when you had to take the knife out of your father's back. He thought that as a child, no child could endure something like that.
Oh, he tried to take me out before I got here, because the naval cord wrapped around my neck and they had to cut me out. So he tried to stop me from even coming.
He don't try to stop people that don't mean anything to God. Just know that he don't bother the people who not chosen by God. He don't bother them like he bothers people like you. And like I say, you have just been an inspiration to me. And I didn't go through the things that you went through, but I want you to understand that trauma is different for everyone, just like triumph. And I always tell people on these episodes that don't ever diminish the trauma that you went through just because someone else may have gone through something worse. What you went through is probably just as bad or impacted you just as much as someone else who went through something what you might consider to be worse. So don't ever minimize the things that you went through because someone else might have gone through something worse. And I also like to remind people that triumph is different for people. Sometimes triumphant just means I am happy, I have peace, I have a sound mind and healthy body. That's it. That's triumph for a lot of people. Sometimes triumph for people is, financial stability, or, I finally was able to have children. So whatever someone has gone through, they went through it and it impacted them just same way that it would impact others. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that. And whenever he gets in your ear again to talk about, don't tell your story, tell your story, tell it 10 more times, 20 more times, because it will help others. I'm telling you, we have people here now on the live that you have already been an inspiration. Everybody didn't find their father dead in the bathroom over a drug overdose, but some people did. And there may be some people that will watch this that you will help them understand what they went through.
Yeah.
Could help them through your story find that there's purpose in their pain. So that's the whole point. These conversations. We want to heal people through sharing our stories so that there's so many people, Angela, who think that they're the only ones who went through what they went through, and they don't have anybody to share a story with them, and they don't have an outlet. So that's what this whole project is about, helping others understand that they're not in it alone. And there are things that I went through, and they were very traumatic for me. Not the same things, but I will share my story over and over and over again if it just helps one other person. I don't care.
Yeah.
One person. Then it's been worth the journey of sharing the stories.
And it felt good to get it out. I did not break down crying. I'm glad I didn't.
I told you was gonna do good. You did a great job. Listen, how do people, now that you all have met Angela, you know her story, you know what you've gone through. I know you're going to want to read one of her books or several of her books. I know you're also going to want to, support her in her magazine and her journey as she continues to climb and strive and thrive in life as this amazing, courageous woman. So tell people, what you have next in your life as far as your writing. How can people, if they want to support you, Angela, and they want to become your, like just cheering in your corner, what's the best way for them to do that?
You can follow me on Jack Magazine. You can follow me on Mother Speaks Magazine. My next, as far as writing, I am working on an astrology book. I just did a updated edition of Mother Speaks, which is an intro mini introduction to astrology. Like if you don't know what your sun sign is, what your moon sign is, what your rising sign is, then this gives you a simplified answer.
Ooh.
Because people like you are Cancer, but that's just your individuality. That's just your individuality. Your moon sign is your personality. Like we all have 3 faces.
Okay.
You got the face the world see, the face your family see, and the face that only you see. And so your rising sign, which mine is a Virgo. So my rising sign is the face the world see. My sun sign is a Pisces. That's my individuality. That's the face, that's the love in me that my family see. And then my moon sign is a Leo. So that's my personality, that's my emotions. When I'm triggered, that's who I turn into. And this is for everybody.
So
you are not just your sun sign.
Okay, so the sun sign, let me make sure I understand. The sun sign is the star alignment under which the date you were born. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So my sun sign.
Well, all of them.
I'm a Cancer.
All of them are the date she was born, but the sun sign is where the sun was positioned on the time and date she was born.
Okay.
Well, the date she was born.
So because I'm July 3rd, I'm a Cancer, right? That's my
right.
And
yes.
Do you know off the top of your head what a July 3rd born person's other things would be? Or I have to get...
Well, I would have to look in my book and I could tell you your moon sign and your rising sign. You can do it on the app as well, but I can tell you July is the month of Leo. Mm-hmm. So you are Cancer, but you have Leo in you because July is the month of Leo. So that's probably your moon sign might be something in fire, because like my birthday is March 3rd. That is the month of Aries. That's fire, and that's in me. But my moon sign is fire. That's a Leo. I had to look it up, and I could tell you what all of it is.
Wow.
I have been studying this all my life, but I'm diving real deep into it because I want to fully understand the birth chart. Like your birth chart is your blueprint. Once you can understand your birth chart, it helps you navigate through the system, whether people want to believe or not. We are not just one sign. The first three is that sun, is the rising sun and moon. But then for every planet, you got a sign. Like say your it's a lot.
It's a lot.
But it's real deep. Real deep.
We have someone on here. I love your whole life. She's a Sagittarius.
Hey girl.
Moon sign, but
she is in my magazine this month. I love your whole life. She a Leo. Team Leo. Now my moon is a Leo. From what I have been studying lately, my moon is a Leo. Her sun is a Leo. So we can... It didn't say compatible, it said understanding. Like I can understand her, she can understand me because of the moon and the sun sign. Yours is a Cancer, right? So say you met Stan. I bet you, no, what is his?
He's an Aquarian on February.
But his moon sign, I need to know what his moon sign is. I guarantee you is a Cancer.
I don't know.
I guarantee you, because your sun sign is one. And his moon sign, the moon sign and the sun sign, if those two are the same, those two have a greater chance of a long-lasting relationship because they can understand each other. This is what I have read so far.
This Aquarian Cancer thing is like oil and water, but he is like the best friend that I've ever had. And it's the weirdest thing. It's like an oxymoron with him and I. Like we love each other so much, and we have so many things in common that we enjoy the same things of, but just as many things that we enjoy about each other is we have so many differences. And when we have differences, it's not like close. It's like he is the polar opposite. So I'd be curious.
Yeah, because he
at a different day, a different time, you can do homework to find out how Terry and Stan really match up in real life. I don't want to get too far off the beaten path here. I want to get your last thoughts on your transition from trauma to triumph. And if you could sum your life up in a few minutes, let's do that.
I am on my way to greatness, and I'm not letting nothing stop me. I have started a company, Put God First Enterprise, LLC, and I just need to take the time to finish it, like the website and the bank account and all of that stuff, which I have not done because I've been self-sabotaging myself. And I want to start Jack Mag TV, interviewing the people that I feature, but for some reason, I just got to push myself more. I got to push myself a little bit more, but I want this magazine to be huge.
It will be.
I have a notebook full of scripts. I want to get back filming. God got the pause button on filming right now. I need to focus on my magazines and the books. You need money. You need to focus on your magazines and your books. That's what Spirit keeps telling me. Focus on your magazines and your books. But I'll be wanting to film and it'll be like, no. So eventually I'm going to get back to filming.
Yes.
But right now my focus is these magazines and books. I want to get out here and do some book signings.
Well, let's do that. I'm gonna help hold you accountable. I appreciate you so much for being a part of the T2T project. We're not done, Angela. We're going to have more work to do. We're going to have some women's conferences coming up in the fall that I'm going to want you to be a part of. This T2T project is going to be a whole movement, honey. And I'm just happy that you are a part of what we're doing. And
I'm happy to be a part of it. I thank you for motivating me and inspiring me and encouraging me to do what I just did, because I was scared, and it was your words that pushed me. So I thank you.
I know you were. But
and I'm a fan of Spotlight Over the City. Like, I love y'all so much. I love staying in T-Bone.
Thank you so, so, so very much. And wait till you watch this back and how proud you're going to be of yourself. I can't wait for you.
If I watch it back, I don't want to
Yes,
see myself.
I'm going to watch it. You're going to watch it back and you're going to be so proud of yourself. You did such an amazing job. You are such an inspiration. You are a strong woman, honey. And I can't wait to read your story. I will be the first to support your book.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. I'm working on getting it edited now
Okay.
because I can't do
And
it.
if I can be of any help, like I have never written a book, but I'm a damn good writer and a good editor. So if you need somebody to read over stuff and make sure it sounds right, I'm your girl. Just let me know. And
Got you. I'm going to hold you to it.
okay. I'm here to help. So we all in this together.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. And you all watching, thank you for watching another episode of Trauma to Triumph Tuesdays. Again, I'm your girl, Terry Long. I enjoy you all so much every Tuesday. I look forward to next week. I have another amazing woman up on the schedule next week with another amazing, courageous story. If you have gone through trauma and you're ready to tell your story about how you transition trauma into triumph, please, please go on my website, www.trauma2triumph.com, or send me an email, info@trauma2triumph.com, so that you can join the T2T project and help change the lives of millions of women across the world, all ethnicities, all types of backgrounds. We've got women coming up on this project who have served time in federal prison for murder, and now they're out changing the lives in a positive way of other women. We have a woman in this project who has gone through 13 different brain surgeries and now doing some really amazing things in the world. So listen, you all are in for a lot of amazing stories. I'm just so grateful for the movement that we're headed. So thank you again. Thank you for watching. This will be loaded on the Trauma to Triumph YouTube channel today, and about this afternoon you'll have it up on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page as well. So make sure you're following everything: YouTube Trauma the number 2 Triumph DOC, Facebook Trauma the number 2 Triumph, again everywhere. So thank you all again and happy Tuesday. I will be back again next Tuesday, back at our regular time at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Tuesday.
See y'all then.
Bye.
Bye.